what would be your recommendation for someone buying an assignment? Because we always tell them, listen, you're buying the assignment right now. Do not go tomorrow, get a credit card, or don't even go close your credit card. Just like stay put, make sure the income is there. Don't mess with your credit, because if something was to happen, the closing date comes, builders at that point get pretty high. And if you need to push back closing, there's gonna be hefty penalties if they do. And if not, they simply take back the unit because they can still sell it for more money. What has been your recommendation?
We become your new best friends. Loop us in on any life change. Life is inevitable, it's gonna continue. But ensure that you have somebody that you can reference to or support. So no change to employment status is ideal. We also want to ensure that you're not going out and accumulating additional debt that may reflect badly on the application or limit your ability to secure the mortgage we have you approved for.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of NK Real Talk. Today we have Rakhee from Mortgage Savvy. Rakhee, thank you for coming. What we're going to talk about today is assignments, and this is going to be different than all the assignment talks we've had. We're going to talk about how to finance assignment deals, and that's why we got a great mortgage broker here to break it down for us. So let's just first start with you saying why you would, let's say, recommend assignments to a purchaser.
In the current market, assignments represent opportunity for buyers that have had a very sort of limited qualification. For the first time, assignments offer first-time home buyers and people facing a limited budget to enter the market and hit a lot more of the must-haves on their wish list.
Oh my God, this answer was amazing. I love it.
Yeah?
I love
Okay.
it. Amazing. So when you're buying into an assignment, the good thing, as you said, is the opportunity that we've never seen before. Because I've personally been on the other side of assignments a few years ago, that you would buy something and the appreciation was so good by the time it was ready, you would almost sometimes double your original down payment. But hasn't been the case for a while, but you would still make profit a lot. And a lot of people were buying because they would buy, make a profit, and unload it before getting it. But right now what we're seeing, which hasn't been seen for a long time, like I can remember for the last decade ever I saw like someone buying an assignment 4 or 5 years ago, then selling it below what they bought it. And today we're seeing these opportunities, and people are actually selling some of their units below today's pricing. And right now I would say we're at the bottom of the market that we've known it for the last 3 years, let's just say. And this is something that poses a great opportunity, but at the same time, the financing of some of these deals could be challenging. So let's talk about what challenges you've seen personally when someone comes to you with an assignment deal. So let's just...
Challenges with assignments, if I can dial it back for just a moment.
Yeah.
I'd say opportunity in the current market is a very shifted perspective. It's now an opportunity for buyers to potentially enter an assignment purchase below what an individual may have purchased a property for.
Yeah.
And that is what sometimes causes the challenges with assignment sales. When we're putting a deal together, we need to ensure that the price that a buyer is paying is reflective of current market values, not what the individual that originally purchased a property paid, but actually reflective of what that property would appraise for in today's market.
So they would do an appraisal.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that is a good point, because I've seen and I've heard some misconceptions, which our job is to educate people. And I've seen on the selling side, people say, hey, listen, you know what? I bought this unit for $1 million. I'm selling it for, let's say, $850. But you know what? Tell the buyer they can, appraise for $1 million and, pocket the rest. I'm like, it will never happen, because they will see the assignment purchase and agreement, and there's no way the bank is going to appraise it at $1 million that you pay, because they see what the person is buying it. Is that the case, or am I wrong?
So any lender will lend based on the appraised value.
Okay.
And if that value of that property today is truly $1 million, yes, we have lenders that will lend
Really?
based on current market value, which would be appraised value. So
Okay.
that is a possibility.
And is that a possibility with the A banks, like for big banks?
No. So this is where we lean on alternative lenders
There
to
you go,
offer
yeah.
us creative solutions. We recently did a deal where a client was in a very similar situation, and we went to qualify them for the mortgage. With the current interest rates,
Yeah.
the qualification was a little bit tight. There was some accumulated debt that we needed to address.
Yeah.
So going to an alternative lender allowed us to tap into that equity that our client had built, secure them the mortgage they need, but also we were able to pay off their debt. So we can get creative on the financing side.
Okay, so that's good to hear, because that will give you the opportunity that if the builder allows you to go with an alternative lender to go, because a lot of builders, when you're going through an assignment, they want the assignment to be done through
A major
the
bank.
tier one banks, and that poses a little bit of a challenge, because then the tier A bank is not gonna give you them extra money, because that's pretty
Correct.
much gonna be like almost your down payment sometimes. So that is something I want to clear up, because I haven't personally seen a bank come and say, listen, I know the original purchaser bought it for $1 million, you're buying it for $850, it's okay, I'll give you $1 million. No, they're gonna go with that assignment purchase price.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's important to note that when we're looking at flexibility with policy, we're looking at alternative lenders. At the A level or the bank level, we would be working with purchase price and appraised value.
Good to know. So talking about these assignments, when the person comes in, puts in an offer, we always have to have the financing, and this is becoming a standard. I have yet to see any seller or any agent on the selling side be like, hey, listen, I want a no condition offer, because the builder would need the mortgage approval. So we always have financing, and we usually put the financing, 5 business days, sometimes a little bit longer, just to give enough time to the banks to do whatever they need to do, because a lot of them will take longer with assignments. The challenge we've seen is that some banks will do the approval right now, but the approval is good for 4 months. But sometimes these assignments will go into closing
out.
6 months, a year. I've had it for a year and a half, right? So how do you get around that situation when the builder says, hey, listen, this approval needs to be for a year or 2 years out?
And that's where you need to mitigate risk and ensure that you have a strategic advisor that's there to support you. So, a mortgage broker's role is to be there to support you through that process. We want to ensure that we're engaging with the client, tracking closing dates, and ensuring that we're jumping at the opportunity to create an extension on the approval to sort of buffer and give that client that additional time so that we can receive proper notification and prepare for closing.
That's perfect. And so, have you seen in your situation that any of the builders will come back to you and say, hey, listen, you know what? You give them mortgage approval, but now it's time for closing. Now come back and, reapprove or send us a new document that shows this person is still
Absolutely.
qualified to purchase. Because there's going to be a long time, usually from the time you buy an assignment till the closing comes.
Absolutely. And builders are getting meticulous at the details that these commitments also include. They want to ensure that the client is fully qualified.
That's good to know. So, what would be your recommendation for someone buying an assignment? Because we always tell them, listen, you're buying the assignment right now. Do not go tomorrow, get a credit card, or don't even go close your credit card. Just like stay put, make sure the income is there. Don't mess with your credit, because if something was to happen, the closing date comes, we've seen it. Builders at that point get pretty tight. And if you need to push back closing, there's going to be hefty penalties if they do. And if not, they simply take back the unit because they can still sell it for more money. What has been your recommendation to these people?
We become your new best friends. Loop us in on any life change. Life is inevitable. It's going to continue. But ensure that you have somebody that you can reference to for support. So no change to employment status is ideal. We also want to ensure that you're not going out and accumulating additional debt that may reflect badly on the application or limit your ability to secure the mortgage we have you approved for.
Perfect. So, as we just discussed, assignment deals are good to look into, especially if you're a first-time homebuyer. You have a limited budget. There are a lot of opportunities out there that you can buy these deals below today's market value, and that's really key to say, because there's built-in equity.
There's built-in equity.
Exactly. So some of the, I'm just gonna, in my opinion, there's 4 main advantages
Absolutely.
to buying an assignment. One, it's you're buying it below market value if you can, or you're buying into a project that you could not have bought into because it was sold out. So that's one. 2, you're getting a brand new unit. All brand new units have warranties on them. You get Terran up to 7 years. Not gonna go into the details of what that exactly covers, but pretty much First year is everything, up to 7 years, major structural components. And the third benefit of it is when you're buying some of these units, you're taking advantage of the built-in equity. So in an example that I gave earlier, if you're buying a unit that the original purchaser bought it for $1 million, they've already paid, let's say 20% of the deposit, and they're selling it to you for 850. You're essentially giving them back only 50,000, and you're taking advantage of the 150,000 that was built into it. So that is one of the greatest advantages that you have there. And in my opinion, the fourth and most important one is you're helping someone else with their situation as well. It's not about taking advantage of someone. It's about the fact that, listen, you need a unit, this person is selling, and you're there. We're not really encouraging bad behavior to go and take advantage of someone. It's just to the point that at the price point that any individual is there, they may not find something that's on MLS.
For sure.
And that is why you get the assignments. The other factor that people need to pay attention to is assignments are not on MLS, right? And it's not easily found. And I know mortgage brokers, when you're buying a unit on MLS, they're like, okay, send me the MLS paperwork. How do you guys deal with these assignments when, first of all, they're private purchases? Two, most of them are condos, so you have estimated maintenance fees and estimated property taxes. How do you deal with that?
And that's where the partnership with our realtor partners is critical. We want to ensure that there's clear communication and information sharing so that we can best prepare an approval to meet the metrics of what it will reflect at the time of closing. And that comes from working in partnership with our realtors to ensure that we're securing the appropriate documentation. So there are a couple of purchase agreements. We need to get the builder's approval to support the purchase that's being executed on an assignment. And there's additional documentation that needs to be noted. So working with a mortgage broker that has the expertise and the experience on managing assignments is critical as part of the equation.
That's really important because I get calls and they want proof of how we came up with the maintenance fees. And land transfer tax is kind of given because, cities got the calculator for it, but the maintenance fees has proven to be a little bit challenging these days. So that was a great answer. So what I want to go through right now with your help is to run a couple of scenarios, because this is what I've been running for my own clients. And it's funny because it was about 2 years ago that I noticed, as soon as the market was going down and we started seeing a lot of these assignment deals. And at the peak of the rate, when they increased the rate by 1%, and that was July of 2022, I started seeing a lot of assignment deals pop up. And I remember back in May, previous to that, May of 2022, I was talking to my clients about assignments, and the conversation became so repetitive, and like I was just sending them the same unit 10 times. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start a WhatsApp group. So we actually have a WhatsApp group. We're going to put the link down below. And over there, any assignment deals that we find, we put it in there. We've done plenty of these deals just from these hand-picked deals that we put in the group. And I want to go through two scenarios. And this is what I've gone through with those clients in that group, that if you were to buy this assignment today, although the interest rates are higher, you would still be ahead substantially compared to waiting till the interest rates come down and then buying it even at today's, like I'm talking about today's market value, not like, even 6 months that the market value could be higher. I'm talking about today that everything is really depressed in terms of prices for condos. So two scenarios. And thank you for help for coming up with the mortgage amounts, because that was
Absolutely.
a good help. So we did a deal for a client in a condo near Peter and Adelaide, that I'm not going to name names, but again, it's Peter and Adelaide. And the original purchase price was actually below what we purchased it, which was really interesting to me, because the majority of the deals we've been doing, people were selling them below what they bought. But because this purchase was done back in 2016, like, it's crazy that the condo is still not ready. It just got finished, and they actually just closed on it. So the original seller still made a little bit of money, so they were in negative. Our clients ended up getting a 2-bedroom condo at $705,000, which is bonkers because there was nothing in that quadrant. The next condo across from it that was, I think it's about 7 or 8 years old. Units are selling in or around $1,280 a square foot to as much as $1,350 even in today's market. So they ended up getting this unit at roughly about $1,000 a square foot. So let's just call it 30% below what the market value today was. And the actual value of that unit was about $835,000 in today's market. So at 705, I want you to walk us through, if they were to get a mortgage with today's rates, what the rates would be and what the amount would be. And then we compare it if they were to wait, let's say a year from now when the rates come down, and what the saving would be in terms of monthly payment and let's say the equity they saved.
Absolutely. So let's work under the assumption of a purchase price of 705.
Yeah.
The down payment on that would be 20. Let's go with the 20% scenario. So that's a down payment of 141,000. Assuming a monthly payment on a 25-year AM, you're looking at a rate of approximately 4.89. Yes, we've seen rates come down.
Wow.
That's a monthly mortgage payment of $3,245.
That's amazing. So that's based on
Today's
rates. So let's assume 6 months to a year from now, rates drop. What would be a rate we could accept?
So I wish I had a crystal ball, but let's assume that we're working with where economists are projecting and use a rate of 3.89
for 5 years.
For 5 years.
Okay, and let's just assume we bought it at the market value that is today, which would be around 835. What would be the
immediately your down payment goes up to 167,000. So more out of pocket to make this purchase. Rates at 3.89 will now reflect a payment of $3,474. So you can see the incremental difference is just over $200 more.
Wow. And so in terms of this, so you're also saving on the down payment.
You're saving on the down payment.
So you're making what? What's the saving on the down payment right now? $24,000 less in down payment.
Correct.
And $96,000 less in mortgage.
Yes, as well as additional equity in walking into a property.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why it makes so much sense right now, even though the rates are high, to still go ahead with an assignment. One thing I want to really point out here that a lot of people really don't look at is the fact that if you're buying an assignment right now, and I'm dealing with a client as we speak, that the closing is probably going to be somewhere between September, October, if not end of the year. They're buying it in this current environment and they're not getting a mortgage right now. Their mortgage is going to be 6 months to probably 10 months from now, which the rates will come down. So you're taking advantage of a market that is still slow.
Securing opportunity in the market today and reaping the benefits at a future date.
That's amazing. See, that is why I love assignments, because you don't have to be fixated on what's happening with the rates right now. Rates, we know it's going to come down. Hopefully nothing bad crazy happens. So it just makes sense. There's so much opportunity. I'm going to go through the second scenario, and these are, again, live deals that we've done. And this is like one of the, I would say one of the better deals we've done that we've seen in this price point. So in terms of the amount that was saved was in or around, I believe, $200,000 from the market value to the actual price we paid. So we bought a 2-bedroom corner unit, parking and locker included, for $655,000. Current market value on that at the point that we actually purchased that was $880,000 for that unit.
Wow, that's $225,000 of built-in equity.
That was a crazy deal because, and the funny thing is that person still made some money on that deal because they had bought it again back in 2015 or 16. That was the original purchase price, and the project got delayed. We hit COVID, it got more delayed. It was a crazy delayed project, but the pricing was really good on that. So bought it for $655,000. The market value was $880,000. Let's run the numbers and see what the numbers come up to.
So assuming 20% down, that's $131,000. At today's rates of 4.89, that's a monthly mortgage payment of $3,015.
$3,015. And then if we were to assume the market value of 880 at a lower rate.
So immediately your down payment now goes up to 176. And your monthly payment also increases to $4,294.
That's a saving of.
So that's a savings of about $1,300 a month.
And not only that, you're also saving a lot on the land transfer tax, as well as the down payment. You're paying what, $45,000 less in down payment, and you're carrying $180,000 less of a mortgage. It's crazy. When you look at deals like this, in my opinion, what's crucial to also think about is the fact that when you're carrying less of a mortgage, you're paying it off sooner. Second, if you were to go refinance this deal, let's say you're getting a 2 years mortgage, like 2-year fixed, 3-year fixed, whatever, even if it's 5. When you go, time comes to refinance it, you're gonna have so much built-in equity that you can pull out.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that, like the scenarios that you've used to pull out equity, and what would clients use it, and how it would work.
So Nima, I want to take a moment to just thank you for the illustration. I think it's so important when we're making crucial decisions with respect to real estate and just reviewing the opportunities with assignments. It's important to run the numbers. The numbers provide clarity on the opportunity and help you gauge the best decision for you. I think it's important that we lead with that.
Perfect. Yeah. And in terms of the equity that you guys
can refinance. So at the time of renewal on the mortgage, and actually before the end of the term, generally lenders like to see you look at a refinance on a pre-construction property after 12 months have elapsed. So after 12 months, we can reassess the current market value of the property and look at a potential refinance where we're able to pull that equity, maybe help you buy that second property or maybe to address debt or other financial goals. There's opportunity, and
That's
that comes
amazing.
very quickly.
So like in this case, let's say over 200,000 of equity, you can wait a year, pull out 80% again, 160,000 in a year, and it's going to be tax-free too. So anything else we've missed in this that you think worth mentioning before we close it up? Because I think this was really good.
So I know assignment sales can be very, feel overwhelming, but if you're actually working with the right professionals and sourcing the right information, educate yourself and ensure that you're making an informed decision when it comes to making a purchase.
You guys heard it. You got to make sure the deals that are happening are getting done by the right people. I've seen so many agents that are not familiar, let's just call it, with the assignment sale, and the paperwork is really extensive and cumbersome. Same thing goes with the mortgage workers. They have to know what they're doing. And thirdly, even the lawyers involved need to know what's happening there. Because I know there's a lot of real estate lawyers, but believe me when I say there's a huge difference between a lawyer that's done pre-construction, they've done assignments, and a normal real estate lawyer that just does resale. So that is something to also take into consideration. Once again, if anyone is looking for assignments or they just want to know what's going on out there, we have an assignment group. We're going to be putting the link down below in the video. So you can just click it. It's a WhatsApp group. Join there. We'll have a chat just to see what you guys need. And you will see we usually post daily in that group. So, and these are handpicked deals that I've vetted myself. It makes sense to buy. And there's a lot of built-in equity. And usually we're looking at minimum of 50,000 built-in equity in all these deals. Rakhee, it was a pleasure. Thanks for coming. And I want to see you back here again, talk about different aspects of mortgage. And probably we're going to see you for the next rate announcement, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you. Guys, thanks for watching. And make sure to watch our last episode of Real Talk with Anton about Airbnb, hosting, and the issues. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to myself, Rakhee, and we'll see you guys next time.